A black general, his uniform gleaming with hard-earned stars, was cuffed and slammed against a patrol car. In a sleepy Virginia town. Branded a fraud by cops too blind to see the truth. Until one phone call to the Pentagon turned their world upside down. Lieutenant General Marcus Tate, 52. A titan of the U.S. Army. Only wanted a quick bite in Greystone. A nowhere stop off I-95. Before a high-stakes briefing at Fort Bragg. Silver-haired. Chest heavy with medals from wars most only read about. He was a living legend. But that night, in a diner parking lot, under flickering lights, two officers saw a black man in uniform and decided he was a lie. Their mistake sparked a firestorm. And the lesson they learned would echo far beyond that dusty town. It started with hunger, not trouble. Marcus pulled his rental sedan into Ruby's diner. Neon sign buzzing, promising hot food and a moment's peace. After 6 hours on the road, he stepped out. Dress blues crisp. 3 stars on his shoulders catching the moonlight. Inside, the bell jingled. Truckers glanced up. A family paused mid-bite. A waitress smiled. He slid into a booth. Ordered a cheeseburger. And checked his phone. Emails from the Pentagon. A text from his wife, Sheila. Just another night. Or so he thought. Outside. Officers Dale Ramsey and Travis Holt leaned against their cruiser. Cigarettes glowing. Ramsey, paunchy and bitter, squinted at Marcus' car. Fancy ride for this dump, he muttered. Holt, young and cocky, nodded. Military plates. But that guy looks like he's playing soldier. They didn't check the tags. Didn't call it in. Just watched. Itching for a fight. That's when it began. A spark. Ready to ignite. Marcus ate slowly. Savoring the greasy comfort. Oblivious to the storm brewing outside. The diner hummed with low chatter. Forks clinked. A jukebox played some forgotten country tune. Jenny, the waitress, refilled his coffee. Her blonde ponytail bobbing as she chatted about the chilly night. You stationed nearby? She asked. Curious but kind. Just passing through, Marcus replied. His smile easy, practiced. Got a meeting down south. She nodded. Liking his quiet confidence. The way he didn't demand attention. Despite the ribbons on his chest. He left a generous tip. Stood. Adjusted his tie. And headed for the door. His boots clicking softly on the checkered floor. The night air hit him. Sharp and cold. His breath a faint cloud under the sodium glow. He reached for his keys. Steps measured. Mind already on the road ahead. Then a voice sliced through the dark. Raw and hostile. Hey you, freeze. Marcus stopped. Hand pausing mid-motion. Instincts kicking in. Not fear. But the hyper-alertness of a man. Who'd faced ambushes in Fallujah. He turned slowly. Meeting the glare of Officer Ramsey. Whose flashlight beam stabbed at his eyes. Evening officers, Marcus said. Voice steady. Hands visible. Ramsey stepped closer. His bulk casting a shadow. The stink of stale cigarettes clinging to him. That's a hell of a costume, he sneered. The beam lingering on Marcus' stars. His medals. As if they were props from a thrift store. Mind telling me where you got it? Marcus' jaw tightened. But his tone stayed even. Honed by decades of diffusing egos. Not a costume. I'm Lieutenant General Marcus Tate, U.S. Army. Holt circled, smirking. His buzz-cut head catching the light. General, huh? Big shot. Got ID for that fairy tale? Marcus nodded, deliberate. His hand inching toward his pocket. Left side. My wallet. Ramsey's hand twitched toward his holster. Eyes narrowing. Slow. Real slow. Marcus complied. Pulling the wallet with 2 fingers. Holding it out. Holt snatched it. Flipped it open. Scanned the military ID. Name. Rank. Photo. All legit. But he tossed it to Ramsey with a shrug. Could be fake, Ramsey said. His voice dripping with contempt. You don't look like any general I know. The words landed like a punch. Heavy with meaning. Marcus locked eyes with Ramsey. Unblinking. And how many black generals have you met, officer? Or is it just that I don't match the poster in your head? The air crackled. Tense as a drawn bowstring. A couple lingered near the diner door. Phones out. Filming. Jenny stepped outside, arms crossed. Her face tight with unease. More eyes gathered. Gas station workers. Late-night stragglers. Drawn by the rising heat. Ramsey's face reddened. Not with shame. But rage. His ego bruised by the calm defiance. Don't play smart with me, he growled. Stepping so close Marcus could see the sweat beading on his brow. We're verifying this. And if you're lying, you're done. Marcus didn't flinch. Call Fort Bragg. Ask for Colonel Denise Warren. She'll tell you who I am. Holt laughed. Sharp and mocking. Circling tighter. Oh, we're not calling your pal for story time. Hands on the car. Now. Marcus stood firm. His voice low but unyielding. I'm not resisting. But I won't comply with unlawful orders. You've got no grounds to detain me. That was the trigger. Ramsey lunged. Grabbing Marcus's arm. Twisting it hard. And slammed him chest first onto the sedan's hood. The metal was cold. Biting through his uniform. You want to play tough? Ramsey hissed. His breath hot against Marcus' ear. Cuffs snapped shut. Steel digging into his wrists. Pain flaring. But not breaking him. You're under arrest. Impersonating an officer. Resisting. Bet you didn't see that coming, General. Holt yanked open the cruiser door. Grinning like he'd won a prize. Marcus didn't struggle. Didn't shout. Years in war zones taught him. Noise only feeds the chaos. But as Ramsey shoved him toward the car. He turned his head. Voice cutting through the night. My phone's in my right pocket. Call the number labeled Pentagon. Do it now. Or you'll wish you had. Ramsey scoffed. Pushing harder. Save your bluff for the judge. The crowd swelled. Phones flashing. Murmurs growing. Jenny stepped forward. Voice shaking but firm. Dale, stop it. He didn't do anything. Ramsey spun. Jabbing a finger. Back off, Jenny. Or you're next. She froze. But didn't retreat. Her eyes meeting Marcus. A silent promise. She wouldn't let this go. As the cruiser door slammed. Caging him in the stale, leather-scented dark. Marcus saw the faces outside. Shock. Anger. Fear. And knew. This wasn't just about him anymore. Greystone Police Station was a squat, grim box of a building. Reeking of bleach and despair. Fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. Casting sickly shadows. Marcus sat in a holding room. Wrists still cuffed. Chained to a scarred metal table. His uniform, pristine hours ago. Was creased. A smudge of dirt on the sleeve. But his posture screamed authority. Back straight. Eyes forward. Unbowed. Ramsey and Holt lounged by the door. Sipping burnt coffee. Their bravado louder now. Feeding off the walls. Bet he's got a record a mile long. Holt said, scrolling a tablet. His grin all teeth. Nobody pulls off a scam this bold without practice. Ramsey chuckled. Leaning back. Boots scuffing the floor. Saw a guy once bought a whole colonel's kit online. Thought he'd get free drinks at the VFW. This one's the same, just fancier. Their laughter grated. But Marcus didn't react. His eyes tracked the clock. 11:47 p.m. Each tick, a reminder. Stay sharp. Stay patient. He had been here before. Not in cuffs. But in moments. Where he had to prove his worth. At 23, a base guard joked. He looked like a recruit playing officer. At 38, a Pentagon staffer. Double-checked his clearance. Like he'd snuck in. Each time. He let truth cut deeper than anger. Tonight would be no different. The door creaked open. Hinges screaming neglect. Chief Ed Callahan shuffled in. Gray mustache drooping. Eyes bloodshot. From too many late shifts. He held Marcus' wallet. Thumbing the ID with a frown. This says you're a 3-star general, he said. Voice gravelly, skeptical. That true? Or are we wasting everybody's time? Marcus met his gaze, unflinching. Lieutenant General Marcus Tate. Joint Special Operations Command. It's true. And your officers would have known that. If they'd done their job. Instead of playing vigilante. Callahan's brow furrowed. Glancing at Ramsey. Who shrugged. Unfazed. He was mouthy, Chief. Didn't cooperate. Something's off. Nobody drives a rental looking like that. Marcus leaned forward. Cuffs clinking. His voice a blade. Not cooperating. I offered my ID. Suggested a call to verify. Stayed calm. While your men insulted me. And cuffed me like a thief. The only thing off here is their judgment. And it's costing you more. Every second you let this drag on. Callahan shifted, uneasy. Caught between his men. And the weight of Marcus's words. He rubbed his neck. Studying the ID again. Then sighed. Fine. One call. But if this is a stunt. You're not walking out tonight. He slid a battered desk phone across. Its coiled cord a tangled mess. Marcus didn't move yet. His eyes flicking to Ramsey. Then Holt. Their smirks fading under his stare. Put it on speaker, he said. Voice cold as iron. You'll all want to hear this. He dialed. Each beep deliberate. A countdown to reckoning. The line clicked. A crisp voice answered. Office of the Deputy Secretary. Marcus spoke. Clear, commanding. This is General Tate. I need Secretary Hargrove. Priority 1. A pause. Then urgency. Yes, sir. Connecting. Ramsey snorted. But it died in his throat. As the speaker crackled. And Elaine Hargrove's voice. Sharp, unyielding. Pure authority. Filled the room like a thunderclap. Marcus, where the hell are you? What's going on? No pleasantries. Just steel. Marcus answered. Calm but precise. Every word a nail in a coffin. Greystone, Virginia. Local PD. Arrested for impersonation and resisting. Cuffed. Detained. No due process. I need this resolved. Ma'am, now. Silence. Brief, but heavy. Then Hargrove unleashed. Her voice a controlled explosion. Chief. Who am I speaking to? Callahan swallowed hard. Sweat glistening. Ed Callahan, ma'am. Hargrove didn't pause. Listen close, Callahan. You've got a decorated general in your custody. A man who's briefed presidents. Led missions you'll never read about. Saved lives you can't count. You arrested him. Why? Because he's black. Because your officers can't read an ID. Release him, this second. Or I'm sending MPs from Bragg. And your governor's getting a call by midnight. Am I crystal clear? The room froze. Callahan's mouth opened. No sound. Ramsey stared at the floor. Coffee cup trembling in his grip. Holt backed against the wall. Eyes wide. Like a kid caught breaking something priceless. Callahan nodded, frantic. Waving at Holt. Get those cuffs off. Holt fumbled. Keys clattering to the floor. Cursing under his breath. As he freed Marcus. The cuffs fell. Clanging against the table. Marcus stood. Slow, deliberate. Rubbing his wrists. His gaze sweeping the room. Ramsey. Holt. Callahan. All shrinking under it. Callahan stammered. Handing back the wallet. General. We're sorry. This was a mistake. A bad one. Marcus took the wallet. His voice low. Lethal. A mistake. Is forgetting a name. This was a choice. You chose to ignore my ID. My rank. My truth. Because I didn't fit your picture of power. That's not a mistake, Chief. That's a failure. And it's on you. Marcus walked out. The station's heavy door. Thudding shut behind him. The night was still. Stars sharp. But his chest burned. Not with rage. But with the weight of repetition. He climbed into his car. The engines hum a small comfort. And drove south. Mind replaying every moment. Ramsey's sneer. Holt's laugh. Jenny's courage. His phone buzzed. Warren. Sheila. Old squad mates. But he let it wait. He wasn't ready to talk. Not yet. By dawn. Greystone was ablaze. The parking lot clip. Ramsey's rough hands. Holt's taunts. Marcus' calm defiance. Spread like wildfire. Across X. TikTok. Instagram. Hashtags. Hashtag General Tate. Hashtag Justice for Marcus. Millions of views. Ruby's diner overflowed. Not with diners. But with locals. Reporters. Strangers drawn to the story. Jenny stood behind the counter. Fierce. Recounting it to anyone who'd listen. I told Dale he was wrong. She said. Eyes blazing. That man was a gentleman. A soldier. And they treated him like dirt. Because of his skin. The story hit CNN by noon. MSNBC by night. Even conservative outlets picked it up. Spinning their own angles. But unable to bury the core. A black general. A war hero. Humiliated. For existing. Greystone streets buzzed with tension. Protests outside the station. Signs reading. See us. Don't cuff us. Countered by a few. Stubborn locals. Muttering about law and order. Ramsey stayed home. Blinds drawn. Holt's old posts surfaced. Rants about thugs and entitlements, fueling the outrage. The Pentagon didn't blink. Hargrove called Virginia's AG, demanding a full audit of Greystone PD. The DoD's Inspector General launched a probe into police encounters with black service members. Reports stacked up from bases nationwide. Marcus didn't ask for the spotlight. He never did. But he didn't shy from it either. Sometimes, he told a young major once, "You don't fight for yourself. You fight for the next one coming up." Ramsey and Holt's world crumbled. Suspended within days. Their records were dissected. Complaints of profiling. Excessive force. Ignored for years. The body cam leak was the final blow. Ramsey's voice, venomous. Calling Marcus a wannabe in a costume. Holt's laugh, chilling in its glee. Protests grew. Spilling into Richmond, D.C. People chanting Marcus's name. Holding his photo. Dress blues. Stern gaze. A symbol bigger than one night. Marcus reached Fort Bragg. Greeted by Colonel Warren. A fierce hug. "You good, sir?" she asked. Searching his face. He nodded. Half smiled. "Takes more than a bad cop to break me." The briefing went smoothly. Drone specs. Funding battles. But the room felt different. Eyes lingering on him. Respect tinged with awe. Afterward. A young black lieutenant approached. Voice low. "How do you keep going, sir, after that?" Marcus paused. Seeing himself at that age. Raw. Determined. "You don't just go on," he said. "You carve your place. Make them see you. Not their fears. Every step's a lesson. For you. For them." Greystone couldn't hide. Chief Callahan called a town hall. The high school gym, packed. Air thick with anger and hope. Jenny live-streamed. Her phone steady now. Capturing Callahan's faltering voice. "We failed General Tate. Failed this town. I'm stepping down. New leadership's coming." Boos mixed with cheers. Questions flying. "What about Ramsey? Who pays for this?" A pastor rose. Voice steady. Cutting through. "This isn't about one man quitting. It's about seeing each other. Soldier. Neighbor. Human. If we don't start now, we never will." Marcus heard about it later. From Jenny. Who called weeks after. Her voice bright with pride. "They're retraining every cop, sir. Ramsey's gone. Holt stuck pushing papers. People here. They're talking. Really talking." Marcus smiled. Picturing her at Ruby's. Still pouring coffee. Still fighting. "You did good, Jenny. More than you know." He didn't return to Greystone. Didn't need to. The story wasn't his alone anymore. It belonged to every soul who'd been misjudged. Dismissed. Dehumanized. At Bragg. He mentored a black captain. Her eyes fierce but nervous. "They'll test me out there," she said. Marcus nodded. "Let them. You're not just passing through. You're building the road. Stand tall. They'll learn." Months passed. But Greystone's scars pulsed. Ramsey faded into obscurity. Shunned. Even by old buddies. Holt left town. His name poison. A new chief. A woman from Philly. With a no-nonsense rep. Rewrote the PD's playbook. Bias training. Accountability. Community boards. Schools taught kids about men like Marcus. Churches held talks on healing. He didn't track every change, but he felt them. Ripples from one night, spreading wide. One evening, Sheila showed him a viral post. Him at Ruby's, smiling. Captioned, "Heroes don't bend." He shook his head, but she held his hand tight. "They see you, Marcus. Let them." He thought of his father, a Vietnam vet, who'd faced spit and slurs, yet told him, "Hold your fire, son. It burns brighter that way." Marcus had always wood. The cuffs, the sneers, the cold hood. They lingered. Scars, not wounds. But so did Jenny's voice. Hargrove's fury. Sheila's grip. And a million strangers. Who saw him. Really saw him. Greystone was one battle. In a long war. But he'd won it. Not with fists. But with truth. So here's the deal. If you've ever been sized up, pushed down, told you don't belong, know this. You do. Walk like the ground's yours. Live like your light's untouchable. If this story hit you hard, made you mad, or proud, share it. Comment. Hit subscribe. Let's keep telling truths about the unbreakable, the unseen, the ones who teach the world to open its damn eyes.